Dear students, today once again I am going an introduction about the new kings and kingdoms. You know very well, although it was explained in the month of May and etc. But many students are the new, so again I am given an introduction about this chapter. New king and kingdoms. You know very well, kings means the ruler, kingdom means the area. So that is very important. Only introduction I am giving. During the period roughly began from 700 to 1200 AD, several major ruling dynasties emerged in different parts of subcontinent. So this period also known as the early medieval period, 700 means 7th to 12th century. New dynasties which were came at that time. During this period, India is marked a rise of small states both in north and south. The Pratihar, Rajput, Chauhan, Pals, etc. In North India, in South India, Pallavas, Cholas, Rajputas, etc. In 7th century, there were big landlords or warriors, chief called Samant. Samant means just like him, you can say big Jamindar. They have a large amount of the land and they also help time to time to the king. So it means in the 7th century, the big landlords and the warriors, they are called as Samant. They were subordinate to kings and provide them the military support. Whenever the king in the battle, then this Samant provides the military support. Gradually, they gain power in the wealth and declare themselves as a Mahasamant and Mahamandaleshwar, etc. Because they support the king, so king gave them some titles. These titles look like a very great, but actually they were the Samantas. Sometimes Samantas overthrew the king, took over their kingdom, because at that time some of the thing that kings was not powerful because they supplied the army military support, so they declared themselves as the independent ruler. For example, they are also Danti Durga, a Rajputa chief, took over the Chalukyas, and this was also known one pilgrimage that is known as Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means if a person, he is not a ruler, he is not a Rajput, and he is a Samant, but he want to become a ruler or king, then they perform one rituals that called Hiranyagarbha. So that is very important. Now, the administration in the kingdom, the kings, you know very well, the king adopted high surrounding titles like Maharaja, Rajeshwar, Tribhuvan, Chakravarti Raj, etc. Because he was the powerful, and he said, I am just after a god. They shared power with Samantas, associate of peasants and traders. Resources were obtained from producers and etc. So this is the thing about the administration of the kingdom. But one important thing is the praശസ്തി. What is the praശസ്തി? Praശസ്ति means praശസ്તિs were composed by the learned Brahmins in the praise of their king. They in return were rewarded by the grant of land of the king. Just like many Brahmins got a land from the king, they are known Brahmadeya. So in this way, the praശस्ति written by the Brahmins in the praise of किंग, राजा की प्रशंसा के अंदर वो कुछ न कुछ लिखते रहते ब्राह्मण लोग, तो राजा खुश होकर उनको इनाम के रूप में जमीन देता था. तो सम ऑफ द ब्राह्मण्स दे बिकम वेरी पावरफुल बिकॉज दे विल नॉट पे एनी टाइप ऑफ द रेवेन्यू और बिकॉज दे गॉट द लैंड इन द बाय एज ए रिवार्ड, सो दे वर वेरी पावरफुल. तो इट मीन्स कि दैट इज द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. नाउ वारफेयर फॉर वेल्थ, जनरली whenever the battle is there, war is there only for wealth, because those ruler who is a rich in agriculture, it means that was very powerful. Especially you heard the name the Kannauj. Kannauj was very powerful. At that time there was a struggle among three power You also known as tripartite struggle. Tripartite, three parties. Which were the three parties? The Palas, Gujarat Patihar and Rajputas. These were the three parties. They want to capture the Kannauj because Kannauj was very wealthy. But in 100 years, these three parties would fight each other to control the Kannauj, and they were not success. And they were end of these three parties: Rajputas, Patihars and Pals. So that is also known as warfare for wealth. Again, in the South India, the Cholas. The Cholas, Vijayala was from a Chola family of Orayur. He captured Kaveri Delta from the Muttayyar. He also built town at Thanjavur. The town Thanjavur was very important town at the time, ruled by Raj Raja first and his son Rajendra first. They also conquered many parts in Sri Lanka and the Southeast Asia, and they become the powerful. But Cholas king made many temples to show their power, to show their wealth. Especially if you go in the south, you can see very tall and expensive temples at that time. So that was very important. Now, the Cholas king gave title, the important office of the state, to these landowners like the Mandalam. So that is also given the title. So here given about some important things. There was very important for the designations that in the South India given, and many type of the grant also is separate at that time. You can see in the book that are the some given about, that is a thing which were the important grants they are getting. They are given, they were by the king to the especially Brahmins and other persons. They were known as the different type of the land given to a different way for the school, for anything else. And now you can see on their book page number, I forget actually, page number 26, they are given about the types of the land. These are the different type of the land. Now, number one, the Chola inscription mention the several categories of land. The land of non-Brahmins, the present, that is also known as the Velanagadi. And the Brahmadeya, the land gifted to the Brahmins. Shala Bhaga, land to the maintenance of a school. Devdana, the land gifted for the temples. And the Palichandanam, land donated for the Jain institution. In this way, at that time, there are some many inscriptions also found. What was the, who can become the member of the Sabha? So there are some qualifications. Just like today, who can become a member of assembly, legislative assembly or the parliament. So same way at that time, who can become a member of Sabha? They are given about some important points. That is, he should have their own home, and he should age between 35 to 70 years, and he also known about Vedas, and he should also well versed in the administration and honest. These are the qualifications to become a member of the Sabha. But today, if you anybody who is the completed 25 years, he can become member of assembly. That was a different thing. But at that time, age was 35 to 70. So that is just an introduction about the chapter. But tomorrow I will explain the proper way the chapter by through according to your book. Okay.